Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
That kid is back on the escalator again.
Ain't gonna hurt.
Here's my boomstick!
Game over, man. It's game over.
Welcome to the Barkin' Bin. He is your host, Ben Mason.
And he is your co-host, Sandra Luketic. And today, we're covering our October fan pick, which is 1991's Ernest Scared Stupid, requested by Craig. We assume if you're listening to this episode, you've already seen the movie. However, we also have one more surprise. Returning to our show for the second time now is Mark from Knocked Conscious and Beer Google's podcasts. Welcome, buddy. Thank you for coming back. How are you doing?
Sorry. I'm doing great. Hey, everybody.
So we haven't really talked much since we talked Airborne. And,
we haven't. We haven't because I had to watch it. Yeah, I had to watch it 50 more times before we got back together, which I just finished this morning. So I'm happy. I'm ready to go again. Oh, we're not doing Airborne today? Oh, man, I thought we were going to do Airborne again.
Well, it's a little bit better than what we're covering today, but glad to have you on for this episode. Based off of some banter we had before we started recording, I have an odd feeling neither of you two feel the same as I do about this movie. But I do have to ask you a question. Sandro, Mark, what was your first exposure to Ernest?
Sandro?
I don't know. It would have been a long time ago, and I can't remember.
Very good.
For me, Ernest Scared Stupid was 91. So yeah. I graduated high school in 92. So I would have been like a junior, senior, I think. So, I really wasn't into Ernest Scared Stupid anymore, but I do remember the first one that came out. Yeah, I was just a little bit on the older tail end of that.
That would have been Ernest Goes to Camp.
That would be Ernest Goes to Camp. That's correct.
Yeah. For me, it was probably Ernest Saves Christmas. But I do remember the TV show, Hey Vern, It's Ernest. Do you either of you know the beginnings of the character that Jim Varney played?
No.
I do remember Vern, and that was a play I thought off of his last name in some way. And I do remember Ernest, but it was kind of like, for me, it's kind of like almost the beginning of The Simpsons, right? It started on the Tracy Ullman show as a short. No one remembers that. Or Beavis and Butthead and Liquid Television. How did it start? I'm really curious.
Okay, well, it's very safe to say that the character of Ernest P. Worrell was the first viral marketing campaign. The character was created by John Cherry, and he and Jim Varney. They worked on the character together, created it. Jim Varney had been a struggling actor at that point and decided to give up acting and move back home and just started working some pretty intensive manual labor jobs. But John Cherry had this idea to create a character to help advertisers in the area, or start an advertising character in the area to promote local businesses. And it took off. It was just the one character. It didn't have any brand reliance, so any company could pay them to put out an advertisement for their product. And that went from milk, ice cream, Sprite, Mellow Yellow, anything. Cake, if you wanted. In less than 4 years, Jim Varney did 800 commercials nationwide. And it was the character that was just in everybody's homes on every possible channel. They would also market the channel that they were broadcasting that commercial on. So everybody came out on top with this, to the point where Ernest was such a well-loved character just from doing commercials that Disney hosted a small event in Nashville, I think, and advertised that Mickey Mouse was going to be there for all the kids. But they were also going to have special guest Ernest. And more people turned out for Ernest than Mickey Mouse. So immediately they snatched him up and signed Cherry and Varney to a multi-picture deal. And that's how we got Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Saves Christmas, Ernest Scared Stupid, and I think Ernest Scared Stupid was the last one with Disney, with Touchstone.
Okay, so they did three movie shoot.
Yeah. At this point, he had already had a TV show, specials. He had done some independent acting as well with other characters that you could see heavily influenced characters created in the Ernest universe. So it's a crazy rags to riches story for Jim Varney.
That's amazing.
And today, most people just know him as Slinky Dog from Toy Story.
Oh, I thought you were going to say most people know him as Larry the Cable Guy. I'm sorry.
Ernest Goes to Jail came out before Ernest Goes Stupid.
Ernest Goes to Jail. There were 4. Yeah,
it was okay.
Ernest Rides Again was the 5th and the first non-Disney film, but it also tanked, and that was the last theatrical movie. After that, they all went direct to video. But John Cherry,
someone has a collection of 12 of them, Ben. Who might that be?
That could be yours truly, sir.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. I have a box set of multiple DVDs. I've got 2 different copies of Ernest Scared Stupid, Saves Christmas, Goes to Camp. I do have to say, though, those movies got real bad as they went on. But John Cherry, the creator and director of the character in the movies, he stuck with it for at least 12 of those movies.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at a list of only 10 movies, so I'm not sure where 12's coming from.
Well, there was Dr. Otto, which was the first one, and that's a proto-Ernest movie. But there were 12, maybe not 12 movies, but minimum 12 projects.
Oh, okay, because I see 10 movies that are titled Ernest something.
Oh, I just saw a 13th movie. Hold on. Ernest's best friend who lives in Canada is a super fan.
Sandra, you didn't tell me about this.
I'm not the actor here.
Correct.
But I mean, you mean they didn't make a lot of money with the direct-to-video Ernest Goes to School, Slam Dunk Ernest?
Hey, you leave Slam Dunk Ernest alone. They remade that movie as Like Mike.
Ernest Goes to Africa?
That was pretty rough.
I can't imagine that's not going to be offensive in some way today.
Oh, yeah.
Ernest in the Army.
That's pretty bad, too. I do have to say, though,
Pauly Shore, right? In the Army Now, wasn't that his?
That was his. And Andy Dick. But,
oh God, Andy Dick.
Slam Dunk Ernest, we've got Ernest finding a bedazzled pair of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's basketball shoes. And when he puts them on, he plays like Kareem.
So he grows to be 7 feet tall?
And black.
I know nothing.
Well, that was quite the history lesson, Ben.
We used to be on Twitter, gentlemen.
Sorry, I wanted to make sure we all had a base understanding of where this character came from.
Your fandom's showing, dude.
I know.
All you wanted to show is how much of an amazing nerd you are, and I love you for it. I really do, because this type of I want to say just passion and obsession. I don't want to say obsession because I think obsession's unhealthy. This type of zest for Ernest, it's healthy enough that I can applaud it.
Y'all make me feel weird now.
No, kudos, man. Look, I've got my own things about whom I am very, really like.
That a lot of people find his character very overbearing, but it's because he was trying to convey so much emotion in that short time for a TV advertisement, and it hit really hard. So they carried it to a movie, and character's not really made for an hour and a half long movie, guys.
No, it's like a Saturday Night Live skit that goes 2 minutes too long.
Yeah.
Or the many that they made movies out of?
It's like Chevy Chase's entire career.
Also, I just meant every Saturday Night Live skit is 2 minutes too long. Also, I forgot to add that.
Well, Ben, you're not the only fan, because obviously this one was recommended to us by Craig on Twitter for our October fan pick. And yes. I have here the reason that he picked this movie. Are you ready for it?
I am. I'm curious, because I think it could either be I absolutely love this movie and I want you guys to cover it, or I hate this movie and screw all of you.
Oh, you're going to be so disappointed when I read his description, because it gives you nothing. He wrote, it's classic Halloween movie.
And then?
That's it. He just wrote it's a classic Halloween movie.
Okay.
I told you you're not going to get anything from it, whether he likes it or hates it.
Well done, Craig. Thank you for the recommend.
All right, let's get
the recommend is solid, so give Craig kudos for that.
I don't give Craig kudos for anything, except he did win one of our copies of Turbo Kid in our most recent contest. So that's kind of cool.
Congratulations, Craig. Congratulations.
Enjoy that film, sir.
I'm still on Supercharger Kid. I haven't graduated to Turbo Kid yet.
All right, let's get into this movie. People are absolutely anticipating it.
Oh, yeah, I can hear the clamoring now. Well, the film opens with a weird montage of old sci-fi and horror films that no kid would know. Throughout, we get shots of Ernest wandering around and being scared, but fun music and Varney's physical comedy does set the tone for the entire film here. So, I really have no complaints. Cut to a screaming girl running through the woods of Briarville, Missouri, quote, long ago. Her unseen pursuer is then trapped in a net, and we find out that the townsfolk were using the girl as bait to catch the predator. I don't know if you guys noticed, but as she's running through the woods, she's smiling and laughing.
Yes, and you do see the hand of the thing.
Yeah.
Before the net cometh down.
I saw this in theaters opening night, and I was terrified. But watching it now, it's pretty funny. That night, a torch-wielding mob drags the creature, now chained up and wrapped in burlap, into a pit while town elder Phineas Worrell decrees their victory over the beast. Now, I have this speech written down, and to a kid in 91, I would have been, 9?
I had just 7 or 8, but I don't know.
It's pretty scary. Yeah, 8 or 9. The ancient evil has followed us here to this new world. He has stolen our children and tried to resurrect his wicked race. But we, in our righteousness, have prevailed. And here he shall be buried. And this oak tree will seal his fate. Its roots will be his prison, which must never be disturbed. At this point, I'm almost crying. But a great delivery by Jim Varney.
I'm almost crying because I'm confident you don't have that written down and you just know it by memory.
I actually have it tattooed on my back.
Memento style.
Yeah. In reverse, actually, so I can read it in the mirror.
Nice.
The creature speaks out to Phineas, stating that one of his bloodline will be the cause of his release, and then he will claim his revenge.
How does the townspeople?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I'm just going with it.
The troll's clairvoyant, I guess?
Yeah, Trantor the clairvoyant.
Okay, sounds good.
The townspeople begin to bury the thing alive, and we get the reveal that this is a history report being presented by a student to her elementary school class.
Excuse me, may I was just thinking about what you said. Wasn't it like curse style? Wasn't he like saying it like curse-wise?
Yeah, he was cursing them.
Saying it was going to happen? Or like not predicting it, but like cursing them, right? Did I miss something on that conversation you guys just have?
No, you are correct.
Okay, because I thought you were like, how would he know? And I thought it's because that was a curse, not like a...
No, definitely placing a curse. However, that would be hilarious if he was like, I'm pretty sure somewhere down the road.
Yeah, a couple, long away from now in Briarville, someone's going to stub their toe. It's going to be very inconvenient for them.
Well, I think they do talk about it later in the movie, how the curse caused like that bloodline to get stupider every generation.
They did. Of course they did.
Yeah.
Because it was in a book.
That's just coming up, I'm pretty sure.
No,
I believe it is. You're like at least 3 minutes ahead.
He's more like a minute and a half, but sure. A school bully, one of the Murdoch brothers, makes fun of Elizabeth, for telling a scary story instead of the actual assignment of studying the town's history. But Kenny Binder stands up for her.
You know what the bully's name is, right?
I don't know his first name now.
It's Matt.
Okay.
Matt Murdoch.
Daredevil?
Mm-hmm.
That fat kid is fucking Daredevil?
I guess so.
I'm just kidding.
Well, I guess
I guessed at that one because I don't know anything about Daredevil outside of being blind Batman.
I can tell you it's a bad movie. I think you just gave me a good thought about what movie to watch.
No!
So
I wouldn't. You know what? I'm not even that cruel. I promise.
What we've established is that clairvoyant troll will see more than Matt Murdock in the future.
That was cruel.
Don't be cruel. Too hard that's true. All right, Ben, where are we at?
All right,
Where are we at in the story that Sandro so obnoxiously jumped a minute and a half ahead?
The teacher explains that myths are a part of town history, but she's distracted by a garbage truck driving past the window, a string of items being dragged behind it, and a woman screaming for the truck to stop. She resumes her composure and asks the student about the curse put on Phineas and his family. Supposedly, his descendants would become dumber and dumber with every generation. Then we cut to Ernest P. Worrell, who is testing his new invention, which cleans multiple garbage bins at once. He stands upon the lift of his garbage truck, giving a typical speech about his genius, but in regular Ernest fashion, things do not go as planned. The machine goes haywire, throwing mops and soap suds about. Ernest panics, pleading for help from his Jack Russell Terrier Rimshot, but the pup can only do so much. He's knocked into the back of the truck, and Rimshot accidentally pulls a lever, activating the compactor. The next scene really makes me, as an adult, makes me wonder about Ernest's sanity. And that's the doll scene. You guys remember this?
Yup.
Picking up the doll, he creates a character for it, gives it a backstory and family, and then kills it to save himself.
Don't stick my head in the gears. I got a doll family at the factory. I'll write a nice letter.
Yeah, exactly. This is a completely unhinged man. And I'm super curious and incredibly hesitant to go back and watch more Ernest movies after this.
It was 30 years ago, man.
Jesus Christ. It was 30 years ago.
Do you know how many times he said the word recycle during this movie? It was like so obnoxious. And I'm like, it doesn't work. Only 9%'s getting recycled, you son of a bitch. Like, it's funny how it like really, some of the stuff really indicated some of the culture of the time, you know, like the push for things.
I don't remember that heavy of a push for recycling that early on.
He said like, I'm a king of recycling. Well, no, it's like, that was kind of the beginning. And maybe I was in Philadelphia at the time, so maybe it was different.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most people around here just burned garbage.
We're filthy, and we're filthy animals in Philadelphia. So,
Sandro, any insight? No, not to the doll murder, not to recycling. Are you green?
Well, I mean, he gets smushed in a garbage truck. He should be dead. This movie should be over.
Yeah,
I do like that his legs were parallel to his head and backwards and upside down as he was getting unpacked.
Oh, now you're getting a minute and a half.
Oh, damn it! Well, I thought he got crushed.
No, you're right. You're right.
Whew.
You're only like
I'm ahead. I'm like 38 seconds ahead. I'm sorry.
Not even, because Kenny and Elizabeth are just walking home from school now, and they hear Rimshot barking for help, and they open the back of the truck, and that's when the solid block of trash, including Ernest, falls out.
With his head sticking out of it, and his feet, as Mark mentioned, just above it, right?
Yep.
And then the solid block falls, which means that it would have fallen on his face.
Yeah, it rolls onto him. Yeah.
He would be dead twice over now.
Yep.
Yeah, but he was making a good mumbly sound like underneath it. So maybe he's got a steel face. Maybe he got a steel plate in his face.
Nah, his face is too rubber for that.
I agree. He should be dead. The movie should be over.
Yeah?
Unless he came back as a ghost. And then it could be like Ernest Ghost Scare Stupid.
I mean, if he can survive this, he shouldn't have this much trouble with the troll later on, but I guess this is
it's because he got Miak, bro. Now I jumped.
Bulgarian Miak.
I know, that's good stuff. It's not the Croatian stuff, is it, Sandro?
Now you guys are getting way more than a minute.
Sorry, we'll go back. All right. Well, Daredevil's father, Mayor Murdoch, stops by the police station to let Sheriff Binder know that he was just out at the old Hackmore place, and it's in a complete state of disrepair and violates every code in the book. Binder says that he already told Ernest to take care of it, and the mayor assures him that Ernest will be fired if he doesn't. And this weirds me out here. Ernest and the kids drive by, and the kids duck down as they pass the sheriff, since they'd get in trouble if he saw them in the cab with Ernest. So how bad is Ernest if the sheriff forbids his kid to be around him? Nothing?
It was 30 years ago. This movie, where like children like an older guy who befriends them, wouldn't be made in today's climate.
Yes, of course. But
back then, I think they were saying that he was getting in trouble because he's not supposed to like be in the truck. more than hang out with Ernest.
I do find it funny too that Ernest does say that when he feels like when he's in the cab, he feels like he's captain of his own ship and above the law.
Yes, I find that very nice. A nation of one.
But Binder pulls over the truck and berates Ernest for not taking care of the Hackmore place and yells at the kids to get out of the vehicle.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's like, how many chances did this sheriff guy have to do anything about this, and he just let it go?
Yeah.
Like, so maybe he didn't have as much of a problem with it.
He's a shit sheriff.
Yeah, he seemed very ineffective.
Yeah. Also, it seems like he really doesn't have a police force.
He's a sheriff of one.
Yeah, exactly. Can we talk about the Hackmore place, though?
Love it. Let's do it.
A massive mansion. There's garbage everywhere, art installation, open flames all over the property. Underneath trees and whatnot. Like, everything should be burnt to the ground there.
Agreed, but it looked like sculptures to me.
Yeah, art installments. That
right,
are
like to your
art
point. Oh,
yeah.
Installations, yes. That's
Yeah, she's definitely a metal worker.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, Ernest reassures Rimshot that they have nothing to fear but fear itself. That, and if old lady Hackmore catches them, she'll turn them into red-eyed drooling zombies. Some weird voodoo statements follow, which I found a little strange. But they knock on the door and promptly turn to leave before anybody can answer. Hackmore, played by Eartha Kitt, who is my second favorite Catwoman, bursts onto the porch yelling at them to get off of her property.
How dare you?
What?
How dare you?
What?
Do not throw Pfeiffer or Halle Berry our way. Do not do it, man.
Pfeiffer's my number one Catwoman.
And it's good. But it's Eartha Kitt, man.
She's amazing.
It's Eartha Kitt. Perfect. Come on. Come on. I mean, just the voice. It's like Cesar Romero being Joker, as good as so many Jokers have been. Like, those originals. I hate to sound like get off my lawn, but get off my lawn, bro.
See, Sandra, I told you we're always right and Americans are wrong.
I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer is hot. That is a separate question than the best Catwoman.
Yeah,
but
maybe I haven't seen enough of Kitt as Catwoman. I've only seen maybe 5 or 6 episodes.
I think she only did 5 or 6.
Okay, that makes sense before being replaced.
Well, also, remember, as a TV show, it wasn't this super recurring theme, right? They had to mix in all of them all the time. So it was a revolving door of bad people. But remember, Santa Baby too.
Yeah.
Come on. It's Eartha Kitt. I don't know. It's something about her.
So she's your favorite Catwoman?
She is. More nostalgic than anything. She's just the Catwoman. I mean, she really defined that role. Just the way she did it, a lot of people took little cues of the way she did it. They never, like, I don't know anybody who had their own 100% own way of doing it.
Yeah, no, she definitely owned that role.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you.
And like, maybe the first of any Catwoman would have laid the blueprint for others, right? But it just happened to be her. So she was fortunate enough to do that. And it's pretty cool that she did it. So,
Sandra, who's your favorite Catwoman?
Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Classic beauty. And smart as a whip.
All right.
I get it. Hey, this sounds like a separate episode. We should have a beer Googles about it. Best cat person.
Best cat person.
Lionel.
Malcolm McDowell.
Very nice. Fucking Malcolm McDowell. I love him. Sing it in the rain. In the rain.
I just tried to start that paragraph 3 times and kept laughing. Ernest tells her that he's only there to remove all of the garbage, which she claims to be expressions of the soul.
Does the government do that now? Or back then?
In Briarville, Missouri, maybe.
Sending somebody to clean out the lawn? Like,
well, if you have an HOA or if you have a city ordinance, there's certain things, like if we have grass and it's over a certain height, we might get a city ordinance, like a bill.
Yeah, but they'll tell you to do it, right? They won't send a worker over to do it for you.
Right. Maybe we're at the point, though, we don't know how far this conversation with Eartha Kitt has gone. This might be the last straw.
It's entirely possible.
We don't have context, unfortunately.
It
but
could
yes,
also be a historic property.
and it could be a mayor who's just a douchebag and power hungry.
Or it could be a
Daredevil
plot
Senior.
device.
I mean, he is the Murdoch's parents or father. I mean, those kids. Ugh.
My kid will sue you. When she realizes him as a Worrell, she freaks out, thinking he's the one who will bring down the curse, and tells him to leave. He begs her to consider recycling, and she scares him off with a flamethrower to the face.
Survives that one, too.
It's absolutely over-the-top ridiculous, and I can't believe they didn't play that up.
I think
This movie is begging for something like that.
if you play it up too much, then it just goes to show how he can withstand anything. And then there really isn't much of a threat imposed by the actual villain.
Which is fine, because this is a kid's film.
Yeah, I get it.
But
I'm
we've
just,
already seen him crushed. You think some fire on his skin would be okay.
yeah, I'm just saying they can't play it up. It has to be subtle. Otherwise, everybody would just know that, yeah, he's fine.
I guess
Think
it also
of-
has to make Hack more menacing.
Well, think of it like the A-Team, where they never shot like the vehicles themselves. They always shot around them, but yet the vehicle still jumped and spun and flipped over and rolled over.
Yeah, a lot of people died on that show from getting shot without actually being shot.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, that's a whole new can of worm. Thanks a lot, man. You just ruined one of my favorite shows growing up.
that's okay. Go back and watch it for Van.
Seriously. You know what? We should do We should do a show called "People Died Making This Show."
Animals were harmed.
Animals, all animals were harmed during the. Every horse was hurt during the making of this movie.
Elizabeth, Kenny, and Joey are at their homemade haunted house. Elizabeth is giving the boys a tour of the place just as the Murdoch brothers show up and trash it. Kenny tells Ernest about what had happened, and Ernest tells him that he needs to learn some sort of self-defense, and then goes on a tangent about the Ottomans invading Botswana. Here we get a character count of 7 Ernest impressions, and what I think to be a hilarious scene. A lot of these characters pop up in Ernest films. Did either of you have a favorite?
The old woman, Caesar,
The old
Ottomans,
woman's
they're all good.
great.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, I have to admit, I have not seen an Ernest movie in a very long time. I wasn't sure what I was in for. I'm very happy for the state of Arizona that we have a medical cannabis ability to bear such a film. But I would say this seems almost like the peak of his performance without getting overly campy, if that makes sense. Like, you know how like Michael Richards and Seinfeld or Friends was good for like the first 5, 6, 7 seasons, but then the last couple just you kind of mailed it in.
Yep.
I feel like he
I
was
agree
right
with you.
before he was not mailing it in, but like before the character became a caricature of itself.
Yep.
I feel like he was right at the peak of his performing. So I was very entertained by this movie. I was surprisingly entertained by that scene.
It's a great, great scene. You're right. He's doing amazing acting. Like every impression, well, not impression. These are created characters. Every character was a lot of fun. My favorite would have been the lumberjack.
Yeah. I like
Which makes
the
no
Australian
sense.
person, the British person, the mustache, like with the Savannah hat, like the. I wonder if that's the Ernest that went to Africa.
Oh no, no.
We're not going back there. I'm sorry. Apologies.
I don't know. There's some lines in this scene no kid's gonna get. So they're like, "Sorry, parents, here's something for you."
Of course, but that's what they do with all even animation now.
Yeah, good point.
They do like I remember watching Emperor's New Clothes. And
Emperor's New
was it-
Groove.
Emperor's New Groove. That's one. Is it Warburton and David Spade. Is it?
Spade. Yep.
Spade and Warburton, right? They threw some adult innuendo in there, and it definitely helped me get through it.
Yeah, those movies were great. I love how there was that weird click in the heads of execs. They're like, well, we need to entertain the parents, so they're probably going to not bring their kids to as many movies.
Yes.
Sandra, did you have a favorite character here? Or were you just like, get on with it already?
I was still thinking about the last scene, actually. It's kind of...
About the haunted house?
Yeah, like... we play up the Murdochs to be these bullies that are mean and wrong, but they did these kids a favor by tearing down that piece of shit haunted house. And they actually painted on the front 50 cents. Someone's going to pay them for that? Get out of here.
You heartless piece of shit.
Do you piss in people's lemonade stands? Is that what you do, Sandro? Is that what you are?
No, I don't
You
like
a lemonade stand peer?
I don't like lemonade.
No, what he does is he'll take the lemonade and reach in the cup where the money is and just take some out instead of putting some in.
Do you have a lawn on which you can tell people to get off? Is that what you...
I don't know why I'm being attacked here.
I believe we're calling you out for your curmudgeonness.
I enjoyed the lumberjack.
Finally, somebody understands. Yes, the lumberjack is great. Specifically one line.
Does he connect with the Canadians the most? Is that what that is?
Oh my god, I didn't even see that coming.
Is that what that is? You didn't see that coming?
No.
That was the lowest hanging fruit. That was the biggest softball pitch I've ever been pitched.
Yeah, that wrote itself.
Let's go here, eh? Let's hit some lumberjack with the axe, and we'll put it about 32 kilograms on that. We'll take it 32 kilometers.
The views expressed by Mark do not reflect those.
Look. Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. It is true. I love people from Canada. You guys are nice.
Yeah.
I miss nice.
We're not nice.
You're pretty nice.
Think about it.
We're thousands of miles away, and we're talking for the second time. You guys are pretty nice.
What do Americans always say? Oh, Canadians are so nice. What do Canadians say about Americans? Which ones are the nice ones now?
I don't know what do Canadians say about Americans. Fuck off. I don't know.
Yeah, nothing good, man.
Nothing good because we're not good fucking people. I'm trying to share this with you.
Many times I've heard my country be referred to as America's hat.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
What about would it be better crown because you guys are that awesome? Would that be more acceptable?
I'd consider it.
Okay. Or maybe tiara. Would that be more cutesy?
Hey.
So lumberjack's your favorite, Sandro?
Yes.
There ain't no trees in Botswana. I know. I'm a Botswanian lumberjack, and I ain't never had a job.
So we were reviewing a movie?
Are we?
I thought so.
I tried. I did one reel back. I can only do one reel back.
All right, we'll get on with it. Kenny states that the solution is actually to build a treehouse. Solution to what?
Not getting bullied, even though I thought that their problem was their haunted house being knocked over.
Yeah, right? Odd.
Yeah, it's not being bullied, right?
I do want to get into it when we get to the treehouse about their method of defense. Ernest and the kids wander the woods. Ernest's quote of the first step in a treehouse construction, which I'll refer to as step 1, is tree selection. And in doing so, holds up 2 fingers. While trying to find the right tree to keep the Ottomans out, the four stumble into a fogged swamp. The kids are nervous, but Ernest tries to calm them by saying there's nothing to worry about. There's no poison ivy, maybe Dutch elm, but none of them are Dutch. Also, if they get lost, they should always use the old pioneer way of finding north. Tree bark only grows on the outside of the tree. And honestly, guys, I know this shit is dumb, but it's great. Like, I was laughing out loud. I had to go back and double check some things for notes, and it made me laugh every time. He's just such a wholesome character.
It's a good thing he's wholesome, too, because this character that these kids shouldn't be in the cab of a truck with is now alone in the forest with them.
Yeah, you could make a very dark Ernest movie if you wanted to.
I'm like thinking that this shit's going to get uncovered just like Cosby and Epstein and everybody else. And this walk in the woods was not the best walk in the woods.
They
you got a single really old dude with like 3 very prepubescent children walking into the woods looking to play in a treehouse that he's going to make for them. And driving them in an unmarked municipal truck.
Where are the kids? I don't know. Last time I saw them, they were wandering into the woods with that garbage man who's only ever worn the same outfit every day that I've ever known him, being the last 35 years. I'm sure it's fine.
What accent are you doing?
I don't know.
It sounded very English, not British.
English?
Just English. Yeah, like English, not British. Just English, like the English language. You didn't have an accent. It was accent free.
So what are you talking about, Sandro?
Yeah,
I'm talking about Ernest Scared Stupid.
I think what Sandro wanted is I think he wanted an accent that more reflected what it would have sounded like. Is that what you're saying, Sandro?
Nope.
Oh, then I don't know what Sandro wants.
I don't know. Maybe I'll throw that in later. They discover the most evil-looking tree in the world, and Ernest decides that's the one for them. Obviously, this is the tree planted by his ancestor from the beginning of the film.
And it stands like an entire 3 feet high, mind you.
Yeah, and 40 feet wide.
Yes. But 3 feet high. Huge high ground.
Definitely. Need high ground. That's where the trees are. Going back to the... Anyway, never mind. Nailing the first plank into the tree awakens the beast below. And this treehouse setup is insane. They've made traps, somehow have electricity. There's an entire front of a car, a swordfish, all sorts of shit. And I say it looks really stupid, but if I were a kid, I'd be pretty stoked, I guess.
Do you know what I think Ernest used for all of that stuff?
Garbage?
For every commercial that he did, he was given something from each company. That shit just got thrown on the front of this treehouse. That's 800 commercials worth of just garbage.
Yeah, no wonder he's a struggling actor. He never got paid in money.
Yeah, he got paid in fish.
Yeah.
I don't
Fish,
make money.
cream.
I make gifts.
Thank you for your solid work today, sir. Here is a right arm of a mannequin. It is perfect for launching pizzas when set to the proper tools.
Excellent. Yeah, I don't want to skip ahead, so I'm going to wait till you talk about the contraptions and the cool weaponry.
That's coming up soon.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm sitting on my hands, I swear.
Gross. Hackmore arrives on scene, lamenting about what has
I'm not
happened to the
shitting
tree.
on them. I'm sitting on them, man.
Oh, no, I know. I heard you.
Oh, okay.
But still
gross. Yeah.
Gross.
A little bit.
She scolds them all and pleads for them to flee, then runs off with Ernest running behind her, trying to explain. The Murdoch boys show up and start pelting the house or the treehouse with rocks, but the kids defend their new fort with food projectiles. Here you go, Mark. This is your opportunity. Why food? Why not just throw rocks back?
Oh, I wouldn't complain. I was curious if the pizza was hot because it looked like she grabbed it and it was hot, and I was wondering how quickly they could cook it because I need a pizza oven that cooks that quickly.
Well, they have electricity.
I know, but remember, were the pizzas that were launched at the children hot? Was she like, ow, 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 when she threw it on there, or were they semi-frozen?
I don't think I was paying close enough attention.
Okay. I felt like they were trying to indicate that they were hot pizzas. And I'm wondering how quickly one can cook such a pizza so quickly. If this is a real thing, I need to get in touch with Ernest, ASAP.
If those pizzas were actually hot, definitely worse than throwing rocks back. If someone throws a rock at you and you pelt them in the face with molten cheese.
Yeah, molten cheese. Thank you. Because remember, when it hit them, it was wet sauce. So the sauce was wet, so it couldn't have been frozen. But the way she had it, she was like, It could have been raw, but I don't know. I don't feel like it would have held together.
Pizza.
No, I'm saying I'm feeling like if it was raw, the thing would have fallen apart before it would have reached them. The flinging would have pulled it apart. Where it had to be cooked.
I see where you're coming from.
And have some kind of gluten texture to hold it all together and be baked complete so it can be hurled in a frisbee-like manner.
When I started making notes for this movie, I never really thought I'd be speaking about food science. But you do raise a decent point.
I raised no good points, but there are a lot of them.
Sandra, want to weigh in on this?
My only thought when I was watching this is, what a waste of pizza. You have so much garbage you could throw, and you're throwing away pizza?
Yeah, and there's also, towards the end of the movie, we see the the yogurt cannon or whatever. Can you imagine loading a rock into that?
Yeah, potato gun. Did you ever fire a potato gun?
I'm aware of them, but no, I never did.
They're fun. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, I guess.
That's just saying. I mean,
be more lethal.
Highly compressed air forcing a spud out of a PCV tube. Yeah, it hurt. Yeah, you don't hit it. You don't shoot it at people. You just shoot it to see how far you can shoot it. Not really at things. That'd be dangerous.
Fairly certain they're not loading rocks into that thing because they don't want to murder these kids.
That's true too. What was the canned food?
That nobody in this movie can die.
No, we've determined that Ernest can't die.
And how did they pre-open the cans? Like, did they do that? Are they sitting open, ready to go? Or did they open them as they were being attacked?
It looked like the machine did it. It looked like they were just dropping the cans in, and then the cans were being spit out after, like, shells.
I saw that, but how did the can open? Like, for the thing to kick it out, like the front of the can before it got spit out.
I'm guessing the machine is supposed to have done it. Okay,
I wasn't sure if the machine did or if they like pre-can opened.
Yeah, every scene you see one of the kids in the back with a can opener just turning faster.
I got it.
Just
new
put the
question
can in.
Then. What fucking genius built this machine?
Ernest.
So he built something that worked. Interesting.
Yeah, see, that statement is kind of faulty because even the garbage device that he had at the beginning of the movie worked. It's just that he managed to stand on the lift and get himself thrown into the garbage truck.
But it didn't really work. It malfunctioned as soon as it started, and that's what knocked him in.
Potato.
Potato gun, potato gun?
Not to go all the way back, but when he pulls the battery out, what the heck is going on between the connection and starting up again?
You don't know this, man? No. A battery only has to be within 3 feet of the actual object to make it work. It doesn't have to be touching it. There's no connection.
That's a drone strike.
There's no circuit that needs to be connected.
They didn't have induction technology in 91?
That is a drone strike, sir. That only needs to be within 3 feet for it to be effective, okay?
That is the most American response I've ever heard.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You got horseshoes and hand grenades. We got drone strikes, my friend. And I'm not proud of that, by the way. It sounds like I am, but I'm really not. I'm a little ashamed. But now, regardless of American shame, let us continue.
We're letting the silence go for your shame.
Yeah, shame.
We're not going to make you walk naked down an alley, though.
I do it voluntarily. It's okay.
I was going to say we don't have to make you do it.
Exactly. Be careful, sir. Be careful. I am one of those ridiculous people.
Well,
anyway, back to the amazing can kicker and the pizza tosser.
Those are our superhero names.
Pizza flinger? What would you call that thing?
Flinger.
Flinger? I like it. Flinger. It flings.
Night has fallen when Ernest returns. Hackmore told him about a troll with red glowing eyes that will go after children and turn them into wooden dolls if he's ever released. It just so happens that the troll is buried under the treehouse and can only be released the night before Halloween, that night, if a Worrell, like Ernest, placed his hands upon the tree, as he does, and recites, "Yea, I call forth Trantor," and knocks 3 times, again, as he does. But what are the chances of that happening? Beneath the tree, Trantor breaks free of his bindings, lightning strikes, and the kids run in terror.
So we've gotten to the root of the problem in this movie.
That's enough of your puns. Wait, was that the first pun? Did I miss any?
That was the first one today.
That was pretty darn good.
That was good.
That was impressive. But it left me speechless almost. Almost. Very hard to do.
The troll approaches a terrified Ernest, who tells it that he knows Tai Chi, Kung Fu, Chow Mein, and has seen Hulkamania 3 times, once in slow motion. He accidentally kicks over a cooler of milk and bananas, and the troll flees. Somebody was going to say something there?
Is Hulkamania like a program or a show? Did I miss something?
VHS.
He can't say Wrestle. I don't think he can say WrestleMania. Hulkamania is just the actual Hulk himself. Hulk Hogan is Hulkamania. Like, it's not actually like an event. No, if he said WrestleMania 3 times and 1 in slow motion.
There were 6 Hulkamania VHS that were released.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, like the where it was like best of Hulk Hogan, right?
Exactly.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. See, I wish he would have said that. See, that threw me off. Yeah, even me watching WrestleMania 1 on pay-per-view, I remember actually watching.
See, I didn't know that was a thing. So when he said, "I've seen Hulkamania 3 times," I was wrestling with the thought to try and figure out what he was referring to.
Yeah.
No, I had one of the
Me
tapes
too.
as a kid. I think it was it might have been 5 or 6.
I totally get what you're talking about. It's basically like a best of compilation kind of thing, right?
Yeah, they were awful.
I love when Ben
but
doesn't either catch or acknowledge my puns.
Oh, I
I
totally
thought
missed
he
it.
did. He heard it.
What was it?
Oh wait, was there another one?
Were you saying wrestling with an idea?
Oh God,
Did you say that, or did I just make that up?
he did.
I said I was
Son of a
wrestling with
bitch.
the thought. Yeah.
Ah, well done.
Is this what you guys do? Is this like who can not catch the dad joke? We did a dad joke episode. Have you heard that one? It might help you out, Sandra.
Oh, honestly, no. Sandra recently has been dealing out some amazing puns. I liked your dad joke reference, and
those are impressive. They are impressive, sir.
And it just, apparently I'm too stupid to catch all of them. And he'll go off. He'll start laughing. And I have no idea why until I realize I'm an idiot. And then I try and figure out what he said and then make myself look even more stupid.
I only started doing it like a half a dozen episodes ago. It's a recent thing.
And the thing is, though, if you're not in sarcastic mode or whatever, like dad joke mode filter, you don't catch 90% of sarcasm because you're just like in a totally different mindset. You're in a totally different lobe of the brain.
I'm also reading a Word document as you guys are talking.
That's true. You're multitasking. Man, that's just unacceptable.
No, it's unacceptable. We're on page 8 of 19 of my notes right now.
Oh, go.
The kids make it out of the swamp. Kenny and Elizabeth head for home in one direction while Joey goes the other way. He falls into some weird sinkhole somehow and is saved by who we're led to believe is Ernest, but is actually Trantor. The troll turns the boy into a wooden doll, the first in his new collection.
Why would they split up?
They live in different directions?
Just for... Sorry, what was his name? Kenny? To just start slowly going back towards the forest?
No, Kenny and Elizabeth went left, and Joey went right.
Oh, right. Sorry, it was Joey. I was trying to figure out which one was the one that fell in the water. They're interchangeable.
Kenny's the lead child character.
I get what you're saying, but I think they just said, hey, they didn't leave the forest together and then go their separate ways. They went different directions through the forest.
No, they got out of the forest, and they were like, back to civilization. And then
I
went
guess
home.
that's right.
Yeah, and then Joey
Yeah, but
slowly
but then he got stuck. Oh, didn't he just fall into? Didn't he just get stuck on the side? I don't know.
Because he started
I don't know.
back into the forest.
So it's safe to assume that Joey's just a fucking idiot, right?
Yes, that's what I'm getting at.
We finally made it. All right, I'm going back in.
First of all, you knew he was going because he's like that away character on Star Trek, like the one with the one colored shirt that goes on the away team. You know that.
Oh, the red shirt?
Back. Yeah, they're not coming back. Let's not kid ourselves. They're not coming back. That kid was disposable the second I saw him getting between Kenny and Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I'm like, this kid's disposable.
It's gonna be trouble. I can totally imagine you watching this, stoned as stoned can be, and just
I don't even know
him
what you're talking about, sir. It's
seeing him
medicinal.
turned into a wooden doll and just being like, good.
Good riddance. Four more to go. Let's go. Let's do this.
Team Trantor.
Team Trantor.
Shuffle them
Hashtag
troll
Team
legs.
Trantor.
Let's get going.
Oh, God. That's great.
Ernest scrambles to the sheriff's house in terror. He tries to explain what happened, backed up by Kenny, but the whole story is ignored by the sheriff and his wife. Trantor places the wooden Joey in a hole in his tree, causing the tree limbs to grow troll sprouts, troll buds, Brussels sprouts, things. Ernest informs Hackmore that he let the troll out. She takes him inside of her house, and there's still way too many open flames here. There's no way that house wouldn't have burnt down already. She shows him a book of troll lore with a passage that reads, "From the innocence of 5, an evil army shall arise. When blossoms shower down like rain, my dark kingdom will come again. There is one who can stop me if he will dare, with the heart of a child and a mother's care." Ernest asks if there are more pictures. And neither of you two are laughing at that, but that was a zinger for me.
I'm trying to let you get through. I am stepping slightly back because you're on page 9 now of 19, so I'm trying to like let you do it.
Almost done. Almost on
but
page
good.
10.
But it's good, man.
He's tasked.
It was like Ernest. He just has a great you got any pictures left? You got any pictures? Any more pictures in there? It's just like a good character. It's like
Joe Exotic.
Isn't that kind of what? I'm scared. Everybody's scared, son. Like he's got a little whatever. I don't know what accent it even is. Is it a Missouri accent?
Tennessee.
But isn't he in Branford, Missouri? Brains in Missouri?
Yeah, characters from Tennessee.
Oh, okay, got it. So naturally, or Tennessean, Tennessean, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it was good, man. What do you want us to say, Ben?
Oh, don't fucking put me on the spot, motherfucker.
No, like you're talking about his timing, right? Like he's talking to her, he's like, you got any more pictures? Like it's totally great timing that he has. He really does show like that he has that spark. Like he has an it factor to him.
Yeah. Definitely waning by this point, but it's still entertaining. At least I think
for sure. Yeah. But he's honed it so well. It's like, it's very sharp. It's very polished.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. It's almost like so good to me that it almost seems overly smooth.
Well, he's completely typecast at this point.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Except for Clampett and the Beverly Hillbillies. So yeah, he's tasked with stopping the troll from getting 4 more children before midnight on Halloween. There's parts of this passage from the book come up again later in the movie, and I don't understand how anybody would actually piece it together as they do. Specifically Kenny, when it comes to milk later on. After stating...
We were going to talk about that.
Okay, good.
I think I figured it out when I watched the second time.
Oh,
also medically induced.
Okay, good. So it was really like... it was really the first time again.
Well, it was really like the first time for a really, really, really long time. The second time.
After stating that stopping Trantor will be harder than 8th level of Mario Brothers, Ernest accepts his role as the Great Redneck Hope. Did anybody else get that reference?
I did.
Okay.
And once again, you can't say that in climate. Just FYI.
Oh, I'm not going to say what it is. I'm just wondering if anybody else got it. Megaphone in hand, he sprints through the town trying to warn everyone that the trolls are coming. He interrupts Tom and Bobby Tulip trying to film a commercial for their hardware store. I'm assuming, since neither of you really watched that many Ernest movies, you don't know who the Tulip Brothers are.
They were great, but I don't know.
No, the Tulip Brothers are characters from previous Ernest films. Here we have Tom and Bobby, but before it was Chuck and Bobby. These were 2 characters also created by John Cherry for his Carden and Cherry advertising company, much in the same vein as Ernest, and then just once Ernest took off, he threw those creations into the storyline. Nice. Tom convinces Ernest that their store has all the troll fighting equipment he'll need. Kenny meets up with Elizabeth and finds out that Joey never made it home the previous night. They agree to go back to the treehouse and check things out. $1,749.98 plus tax gets Ernest 14 cans of Troll Away spray, 2 Bolivian Army slingshots, Dayglow troll waders, Troll Ninja Nimchucks, slime-proof troll gloves, 50 pounds chopped troll bait, 14 no-troll strips, and 1 trolling motor. Unfazed and excited Ernest asks if that includes the giant album with every troll love song ever written. Sure does. Upon arrival at the treehouse, the kids are... You guys are fucking leaving me to hang out, man. Like...
I like that he... I liked... Okay, there's 2 parts to this, if I may. I'm trying to let you go faster through it because I feel like I keep holding up.
No, it's going to go by pretty quickly after this.
There's 2 parts that I really like about this. One is, I guess you didn't know I was like head of the 82nd Battalion Troll Division in Europe or something. That was good. But then he's like, troll bait, $3 a pound, and he like holds it up like He listens
One
like
hand.
an ounce, and he goes 50 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was like, bullshit. What are you, Chris Cuomo? You can just lift that 50 pounds over your head like it's nothing, or 100 pounds over your head like it's nothing. Yeah. So those were two parts I found really just funny about this car salesmaniness of it. And how great that was.
Really enjoyed it, but I feel like that's the only time we needed to see those characters in the movie.
Yeah, and the third time, plus tax.
Yeah.
At the end. That was always good.
I like
Those
them.
were my three favorite parts.
Sorry, Sandro?
I like the Tulip Brothers. They were, again, like you said, you don't need to see too much of them, but the few parts that they were in, I like their chemistry. I like their on-screen relationship. I didn't think that their continued appearances were bad as the movie went on. I think as the movie went on, they actually grew on me.
Really?
I actually agree with that. Because I found them to be a lot more helpful than I thought that used car salesman type smarmy people would be. Like, they were helping. Weren't they trying to help eradicate everybody while they were at the end?
They were taking pictures to try and sell to National Enquirer.
Initially, but didn't they try to help somebody out at some point?
No.
Oh, those are sons of bitches.
No, they were lamenting over the fact that one of the trolls ate their film.
I remember that. But I thought they jumped in to help in the beginning, no?
No.
They also ran Ernest over in their van.
Son of a bitch.
No, every one of their
I guess I'm watching the wrong movie.
Every one of their appearances, they tried to exploit or insult or profit off of what was going on. They were not.
Yeah,
They're completely self-serving.
Okay, let me restate. Then they really grew on me because I admire that.
Just turned that one around pretty easily.
They're POS, man. No, they were. I thought they were trying to help at some point, but yeah, I know the film. I remember the film thing and all that. Once again, getting ahead of ourselves.
I do remember that film being strangely large, though. It always looked like it
was
never
weird.
fit in a camera.
I think it was like old school Polaroid out the side, kind of versus the machine spit down, like they'd be exposed. I don't know, but it looked weird.
You guys remember film?
Unfortunately,
yeah.
I like that. Mark used my same phrase for it because that just makes me laugh a second time.
Oh, fuck off. What did I miss this time?
Mark said it and he might have missed it.
I probably did.
I said that the Tulip Brothers grew on me. And then Mark even said, I agree they grew on me.
You see what I put up with, man?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how embarrassing it is and how stupid I feel when he starts laughing? I'm like, fuck, what did I miss?
Be careful, Ben. You don't feel stupid. You are stupid for missing it. It's very different. Very different. I'm happy to help because I'm in this boat with you. We are both taking on water, and I've got my bucket, and you've got yours, sir.
Also, with
Sandro,
that statement,
ready.
Does that mean I'm not the mean one on here anymore?
I never said you were the mean one. No one's claimed any. You guys have been so nice.
No, you just called me stupid.
Yeah, I called you stupid. But stupid is an honest observation of the facts of missing these. I am also stupid.
All right, well, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Right. That doesn't make an honest observation of things is not an angry statement, sir.
Jerk.
Well, I'm also stupid. Obviously, I agreed with Andrew's bullshit sarcastic comment. And you got
it was pretty good. Pretty good.
It was very well done.
It was well done.
Hindsight. Yeah, in hindsight, touche.
To be fair, the sentiment was honest. They really did grow on me. Like, I liked them more and more every time I saw them, probably because of their it's just the wording was purposely used.
It was well done.
You are a wordsmith. Upon arrival at the treehouse, the kids remark on how the area looks different, but continue in their search for Joey. They find the hole in the tree complete with wooden Joey before being scared away by Trantor. Also, I really hate that name. Joey. No. Ernest suits up at old lady.
Very well. That was a very well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, that Joey name. I can't stand it.
Ernest suits up at old lady Hackmore's house, ready for battle. The kids also make their way there, not knowing that Trantor is in pursuit. The troll is distracted by a skateboarder, who he then abducts.
He just grabs him.
Yeah,
he like clotheslines the kid. It's like, arr. One more for my collection.
Hackmore lets us know that if the pods fall from the tree and touch the ground, all is lost. All of the world's children will be doomed. Ernest finds some peace in knowing that it's just the children that will have to worry. He sets up a dumpster trap, assuring the kids that human sacrifice is a last resort, but the trap backfires and slams down on his hand.
Very predictable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I thought the fish hooks were going to hook into him for a bit, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, and that's like straight out of the TV ads he would do. Like, he'd always lean in a window and bug his neighbor Vern, and then eventually the window would like come crashing down on his fingers. So, he's just going to get hurt all the time.
I will say I did like his reaction, the slow. I mean, okay, we're getting into really slapstick here, but he looks at his hand, he looks away, he looks at his hand. It's like, is he so stupid that it takes that long for the pain receptors to travel to his brain? But it's still, it's an honest chuckle. It really is.
Yeah, it's kind of like when a cartoon character runs off the edge of a cliff and doesn't actually start. Gravity doesn't exist till they look down.
Yeah, exactly.
I still get a chuckle, right? Like, it's still chuckle worthy.
And it's pretty fun at this point, realizing how many times he's broken the fourth wall, and I never really noticed it. It just kind of seems normal in this world that you are a character he will talk to or look at or reference.
Well, I feel like it was kind of always meant that you were Vern, right?
For the most part in the ads, yeah, but it doesn't start off that way in the movie. It's just him giving a speech looking off into the distance, but slowly throughout the movie he starts looking at the camera more and more and more, kind of bringing you in. I don't think that's meant as like you're a character so much as it actually is drawing you into the movie. Anyway.
I think that was a gift that he had. I really think that was sharp to always do those camera takes, like those off takes.
Oh, totally. Right? Yeah, it's a skill being able to do that. Like,
I love when you're in the middle of one of those scenes and the guy just does like a little like an airplane.
Yeah.
Like there's some of those where you just look over and like, and you're just like, oh man, that is perfect timing. You know what I mean? It's like that, he really does bring you in by talking to you. He's talking to you.
Yeah. It definitely forces your involvement with the movie as opposed to being a passive viewer. You're actually engaged with it. Kenny walks Elizabeth to her house where she kisses him on the cheek. Kid romance. Trantor places the new wooden child in the tree while the pods grow bigger. We're just jumping from scene to scene here. Like, they're just trying to tell the story as fast as they can. Now, we've noticed this a lot recently in the movies we've been covering, that after you get past the first act and like partway into the second, they just try and bang out the rest of the movie as fast as possible.
Gremlins is very similar.
Yeah.
It's one of those, like a lot of those movies in general are like that. It's like, let's do this slow build up, and then it's like we got to end it as quickly as possible in some weird, quick way. It seems interesting the way they formulate a film.
It definitely makes sense here though, because Ernest is
that would get old
doing slapstick.
Right? How many more can pods grow? How many more kids can you put in the tree? And kind of gets old too.
3. Technically more than 3 by the end of the movie.
There were 5, right? There were 5 in it to activate, right?
There was 2 in it already. He needs 3 more, but
right.
we end up getting more than 5 in that tree.
And then Eartha Kitt shoved a couple more. I'll wait.
I stole these from Bruce Wayne.
Perfect.
Sorry. Lemon face. All right. Ernest drops Kenny off at his home, where he's jumped by the Murdoch brothers wearing troll masks. His mother shows up and scares the boys off, and Kenny hops on his bike to go warn his father. Elizabeth is on her bed getting a stern talking to by her mother about trolls not existing. She asks her mother to check under the bed, but she refuses. She instructs her to put on her costume for the Halloween party at the school and leaves the room. The kid builds up enough courage to look under the bed herself, and sure enough, there's nothing there. And that's because the troll is actually on the bed next to her. Super creepy jump scare. Disturbingly creepy look on the troll's face.
Yeah, that thing's ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, they've definitely made a seepy-faced troll. Everything is oozing out of everywhere on that.
I found a heavy booger content in many of the trolls that are about to appear.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, all over their faces. You just palm mash that shit in there, man.
Snot filled. Very just Just right in the nostrils, just all this green gunk.
Yeah, my big problem with this is the amount of weird mucusy slime that's in this movie. I would have been happy with
unnecessary.
less of that.
Yeah. It doesn't add to it. I'll put it that way.
Well, Ernest has decided to dress his dog up as a child to use as bait for the troll. He messes up yet another trap, this time a gigantic bear trap, which he snaps closed on himself, proving that he's immortal.
Didn't it throw him away from the trap? Didn't it like fling him away?
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense.
Right, obviously, but it didn't like close on him and he survived that.
Oh, that's right. It
like
him, yeah.
I want to just be clear. Right, I want to be clear that it in its closing it like slingshotted him. Right? Didn't it send him airborne and then
that is what happened, but when you look at the physics, there's no way that could possibly happen.
I'm just saying, like, physics wise, it should close on him, but like if it closed on him, once again, to Sandro's point, it has to be a subtle survival, not a direct. Like, I just got impaled by the jaw, like these bear jaw things, and I'm good.
Yeah, it wouldn't work if they showed like his head and feet sticking out of the trap again, like they did out of the garbage. It's like that doesn't make sense. That you know.
This time it doesn't make sense. We let you get last time it made sense. This time it just doesn't.
Yeah. The one thing I can say about Ernest is they never go back to the well with him. Never use the same joke twice. Only 5-6 times for 13 projects each. Somehow recovered, Ernest goes to the gas station and buys, or I guess it was more of a convenience store or grocery store, and buys chocolate milk and snack cakes, completely unaware that Trantor has followed him inside. A scene of charades where the clerk tries to get Ernest to turn around, but eventually just grabs a shotgun. The frightened buffoon throws his arms in the air, his chocolate milk landing near the troll and scaring it away. Gun humor. Kids film. Don't really see that anymore.
No. They don't do guns and funny things anymore. No. They don't have guns that like the end goes bang with the little like banner at the end of it.
True.
It'd be nice if they did. They can't.
It's a lost art.
Yeah, it is.
Kenny encounters his friend Greg heading to the school Halloween party. They hear Elizabeth's voice emanating from a culvert, and Kenny goes to inspect, but it was a trick, and Trantor has now claimed Greg as the fourth doll. The troll chases after the binder boy. The fourth doll? Who's the third doll?
One of the Murdochs, I think.
Yes, it was one of the Murdochs, you're right.
The fat one.
Yeah. Matt, Daredevil. Didn't see that one coming. Sheriff Binder... Oh, see, nobody? Okay. I tried. Sheriff Binder is being overwhelmed by the complaints of...
Sandro, he didn't see it coming.
I'm still here. What?
He did. Matt Murdock, he didn't see it coming.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Well, Sheriff Binder is being overwhelmed by the complaints of parents missing children and one man in a bumblebee costume complaining that his garbage hasn't been picked up in 2 days and he's having house guests. Kenny is still on the run with the troll right behind him. He darts into the street and is almost hit by a milk truck, but uses it to get space between himself and the monster. When the truck pulls away, the monster is gone. Ernest gets an alert that his dumpster trap actually worked. He returns to the site and berates the captive inside. Creepy message spray painted on the side of the dumpster being kids for free. He takes the dumpster to Sheriff Binder and Mayor Murdoch and opens it, revealing the Murdoch brothers. Oh, they haven't been turned yet. Furious Mayor fires Ernest for what he's done to his kids. Ernest tries to explain what's happening, but the sheriff tells him to grow up. Kenny gets in the car with his father and they drive off.
Was the skateboard kid number 2?
Skateboard kid was probably number 2, yeah. Oh,
Joey
the third was Elizabeth.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Can we take a second here? Kenny, after getting ambushed by the Murdoch brothers, goes to look for his dad. Doesn't check the place where he works?
Like the sheriff's office?
His dad is the sheriff. He goes looking for him. He doesn't find him until this moment when he leaves with his dad. Meaning that the one place he had yet to check was the place his dad works.
Well, we're led to believe that that's where he was heading, but while he's on his way there, that's when the troll shows up, and he just, being a child and not thinking straight, veers off, I guess, trying to lose him. Am I wrong on this one?
I think it's a movie titled Ernest Scared Stupid, and I think we need to give a little plot leniency.
That's understandable.
Agreed.
But I love that we can, because we could do that. We could pretty much do this to every movie, which is beautiful, and that's why I love it. But to your point, yes, he should have looked where the cop car was, because that's where his dad is, everywhere where the cop car is.
You do raise a good point. We are three grown men arguing over the logistics of a path for a child to find his sheriff father at the cop station in an Ernest film while he's being chased by a fictitious creature.
I'm good with it.
I'm good with it too.
I like the question. Yeah. It must be asked. If not us, who? If not now, when?
Everybody stop listening now.
Look, it is the mind of an educated, it is the mark of an educated mind to entertain an idea without accepting it. Okay?
You're too smart for the show. Get away.
That's not what I feel like after I miss your and Sandra's fucking puns all day. That's right. I dropped an F-bomb.
It's not the first.
Oh, darn it.
Not the last.
I mean, yeah, not the last either.
Ernest starts to doubt himself, but Rimshot tugs on his pant leg, snapping him out of it. Ernest never knew how to quit. Just ask his 4th grade teacher. And I fucking love this quick cut. Do you guys remember where it's him writing, "I don't know how to quit" on the blackboard? And then
I love that they went to it twice, but yeah.
He drags his nails down the board. And the teacher just smacks him in the back of the head and drives his face into the board.
With the back of her hand, too. Like the most disrespectful way.
Not even looking. Just
he gets the back of her hand to the back of his head to the face in the chalkboard. It's pretty impressive. That was my favorite part.
Yeah, it was great.
That was really nice.
It was full-on child abuse. And then they
doesn't know how to quit. Sandra, that must have been your favorite part because someone got hurt and someone treated someone else not very kindly.
I mean, to say that somebody got hurt, you're missing a lot of this movie if you think that's the case.
Well, he got hurt more there than he got hurt in the bear jaw trap thing.
We didn't get the follow-up. It cuts right after that. For all we know, he just wipes himself off the board and keeps going.
Can you imagine he's just like bleeding profusely from the face?
I fell down the stairs.
That's actually what made Ernest the way he is today.
Invincible, the chalk. I got chalk shield.
Slightly slower, and yes, he can huff chalk dust, no problem.
The slower is from the curse, man. The slower is from the curse, not from the chalk. Or the PTSD or the trauma, the head trauma.
It's just severe abuse from a teacher.
It's got CTE from never know when to quit.
You find out he's the first one in the lineage that isn't a genius. It's from this horrible abuse in grade school. Well, on that happy note, Old Lady Hackmore removes a sheet from a side table, revealing 4 wooden children's statues, telling them their time has come, and carefully puts them into a bag. Ernest returns to the tree, sees the state of the pods, and decides they have to go to tell Hackmore. The troll rushes him, but the unknowing Ernest smashes it in the face of the door of the truck. The troll climbs on the vehicle and attacks. Ernest sprays it with the troll away spray, even though there's a windshield separating them, and the troll starts stabbing at him through the roof. Trantor rips the door off and chases Ernest into the bed of the truck. Thank God the dog knows how to drive. Ernest almost knocks himself out, but manages to take out the troll by throwing rope at it. Trantor falls off the back, but the rope catches the tailgate, and the power of the monster stops the truck in place. It slowly pulls the truck backward, but Rimshot throws it into reverse and just smashes into it.
This was done so poorly.
Everything about this is bad.
Because when the troll is pulling the truck backwards, you can see that the rope has slack.
Yep.
It would not be difficult to just pull it to its most.
There's no acting in this movie.
It was bad. Well, there's acting.
Yeah. No, it was bad. Everything about this scene was... I mean, as a kid, it was entertaining, but watching it today, you're like, this was shot on film. This cost a lot of money.
Is it me, or is every scene with Rimshot done in some kind of fast sped up motion, like claymation-y kind of stop motion-y kind of thing?
They probably sped up the frame rate. Yeah.
Okay, that's because it looks like that happened even in the beginning, like when he's hitting the levers and stuff. It's like jittery, like he's fat, like he's had too much coffee.
Yeah. I'm also curious, like the early 90s seems to be the time of the Jack Russell Terrier in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because
Frasier,
all of the Ernest movies, the
Spuds
Mask.
McKenzie, coming out of Spuds McKenzie, I guess, with Target. I mean, it's that kind of dog, but it's not the same. It's a Stafford, right? I mean, Terrier's a little different.
Apparently, this boom in the dog's presence on commercials and in film led to people trying to buy them up frequently. Every family wanted to have a Jack Russell Terrier, to the point where they were so inbred that they just became incredibly violent and started attacking a lot of the people that bought them.
Yeah, I've heard terriers are not great house pets.
No.
Well, any kind of purebred. I mean, it's kind of like the whole thing with like German Shepherds, the hip. You know, you have hip issues with the constant pure breeding.
Well, the troll is now back on the truck. It shatters the windshield and knocks Ernest into an empty barrel, which he then kicks off the back of the truck. It rolls down the road before being hit by the Tulip brothers in their van. Ernest, still wearing the barrel, hops his way to Hackmore's house, which makes sense, what with her knowledge of welding metal sculptures, and good thing she has a giant can opener. Didn't need another sight gag.
That was a little odd to see, in my opinion, because as much as we've seen, sight gags and slapstick, we haven't seen anything quite on par with a giant can opener.
Yeah, I found it extremely uncanny that she used that.
Yeah.
That's good. That was good.
Implement. It was too soon and too much to can. It's unfortunate. I feel shame that I even tried that one.
Ernest notices that.
It was my favorite scene, actually, where he gets up, gets knocked down in the can, then it gets crushed, then she knocks him off the thing, and he rolls down again. And it's just funny. That was very chuckle worthy as well. Kudos.
Yeah, pretty wholesome comedy there too, especially when you look at the fact that he could just lift it off of his head if he wanted to.
Totally, he was all in on that can, on the drum.
Ernest notices that the troll book has 2 pages stuck together. Peeling them apart, they discover something that can destroy a troll. M-I-blank-K. But what is it? Ernest decides it must be authentic Bulgarian Miak. Realizing that the troll needs one more child and the fact that the kids are all gathered at the school, Old Lady Hackmore knows where the beast will strike next. Miak, gentlemen. Did anybody bother looking this up?
No.
No, me neither.
No.
Do we want to assume that it's a real thing?
No.
It can't
good.
be.
It could be.
You're compelling me to do it, you sons of guns. All right. Should I type in Bulgarian Miak?
Well, it's got to be authentic.
What exactly is authentic Bulgarian Miak? At least it comes up. A logical, mostly logical explanation.
I found an article here from horror.land that's titled Authentic Bulgarian Miak and 10 Other Fictional Foods from Film and TV.
All right.
Vegemite's real, though. I know that.
It sure is.
Well, we're doing Men at Work style. I'm a Colin Hay fan. So.
You stay in your land down under. Outside of the school, Hackmore witnesses a fight between a mother and her daughter. When the two make up, Hackmore realizes that unconditional love is the heart of the child that the book referred to previously. That was a stretch for me, and I'm pretty sure any kid watching the movie does not remember that.
Yeah, because they're all associated with a child's heart physically.
Yeah.
Via sacrifice as a last resort, and the existential, philosophical heart of a child.
Yeah.
And they do not work that way.
And the passage from the book was read 50 minutes previously. Pretty sure most kids wouldn't remember it anyway.
Right. Just the reference itself just didn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
They should have just said, oh, it's the love of a child. They should have figured out a better way to say that the whole time.
Ernest runs into the school gym, trying to warn everyone again, but Trantor attacks one of the Murdoch boys and turns him into a doll. There you go. Ernest makes a stand, confident he'll win the fight since he actually found a jar of Miak. The troll throws him across the room, breaking an ice cream machine and knocking him out. Rimshot runs to his defense, biting the troll's boot and pulling on it. Trantor runs at Ernest, who covers his face with ice cream-covered hands, and the troll runs away. He starts to brag about the troll being afraid of him, but Kenny shows him that Trantor turned Rimshot into a doll before fleeing. That actually tugged at my heartstrings a bit. Because really, that dog is the only friend Ernest has. An enraged Ernest...
He hangs out with kids all the time. He built them a treehouse.
Well, I guess it would be all the time if he had to get a warning about...
But he doesn't have children. Truck. I don't want to get to the end too fast, so we'll wait. But he doesn't have children. He doesn't feel any connection to anything other than... even though, he hangs out with kids, they're not his kids.
And he goes on multiple adventures, and Rimshot is with him all the time.
Rimshot's his dog. No one else is his, I think, is what he's trying to
I'm just saying, Ben said he doesn't have any other friends, and I would assume that hanging out with kids all the time that aren't his kids might classify them as friends.
No, he's just a creep. Because...
Yeah, I think it's a very shallow relationship that he has with these kids.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'd say he's not so much a creep as they're just taking advantage of him. Because anytime the kids are around Ernest, it's because they need something. That's it.
That's a good point.
An enraged Ernest rallies to fight the monster and leaves. Kenny somehow puts together that milk is the representation of mother's care. Again, reference from earlier in the film. And that's what scared off the troll. But also how?
He wasn't even there for the Miak passage.
Yeah, he has no info that tells him anything about any passage from a book or that book even existing.
That is correct.
Some sloppy writing.
I just don't understand. Is I saw Miak or I saw MI space K, and then I got, look, he's underneath this frozen yogurt machine or whatever.
Yeah.
Spewing out this whatever, and the troll goes away or whatever. Okay.
We've entered John Auerbach level writing at this point.
Actually, I want to talk about that. There's a guy in the writing credits and in the co-producer named Coke Sams. His fucking name's Coke. Really? Yeah. This guy's real? This is a real person? I just want to say, a guy named Coke writes a part like that. That's what I'm saying.
If this were a nickname, if Coke were his nickname, I think we'd go a little bit more in depth here. They'd be going way too in depth about things because they're just running idea. Not maybe he just pretend that he knows what's going on.
Yeah. Coke Sam's is clearly on coke when he's writing this portion of it. I don't know which one. Liquid or powder. I'm not sure which one, but he's on one of them.
He's on the Joel Silver diet.
Joel Silver diet. Oh my God. Good reference.
The mayor works the other parents into an angry mob and they head for the tree. The other Murdoch brother and a few kids confront Kenny and ask how to kill the troll. They band together and set out for the tree. But Trantor makes it there first and places the last doll in the hole. Ernest tries to ram the troll with his truck, but narrowly misses it. The pods start to drop, and Ernest does his best to catch as many as possible, but can't stop them all. The troll uprising has begun. And they do a really good job of making these things look really fucking gross. Before going to the tree, though, the kids stop at the grocery store. They stock up on super soakers and milk. And that store clerk, man, has the shittiest life and job ever. I feel bad for him.
Get away!
By a troll, pulls a gun, freaks out Ernest. There's chocolate milk all over the floor. Cleans it up. Gets a bunch of kids on bicycles in the store. Run him over through the wheat checks or whatever display, knocking that down.
Oh, it was Wheat or Bran. I'm not sure which one of those two it was, but it was definitely checks. I was trying to see if it was Wheat or Bran. It was dark. I know that.
I swear wheat. It could be Bran.
It could have been wheat. I was leaning wheat also, but Bran checks I remember they made too. And they were like a dark brown. But anyway.
For a long time, cereal that you could not get in Canada. Back at the tree, Ernest is beating the shit out of the trolls with a baseball bat. Oh, wait, I forgot to say that they... I said the kids got super soakers and milk. We're good. So, yeah, Ernest,
you
beat
did.
the shit out
And
of Trolls
somehow they
baseball
ran
bat.
over that clerk at like 1 mile an hour in a bicycle.
He's had a rough day.
The way he jumped back into into the checks display? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was having a rough day.
The townsfolk arrive and the trolls stage a mass attack. I did have a chocolate one part here where Ernest is saying, think of a number between 1 and 10. Was it 2? And then just pokes the troll in the eyes. And the scream that thing lets out was horrific. Like, it was dying from that. Anyway.
That was very good. I thought that was good. 2. Bam. He should have done the curly and put the hand up. That would have even like added. Yeah, where the troll should have put his hand up vertically and then blocked it. That
also,
would have been like more fun.
Where are the trolls getting these weapons? Because they're birthed from the ground, fully armed.
Yeah, did you notice the second troll that was birthed or came out of the ground had like nails all up in its face, like it was born that way?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Nails driven into its head. One's born with an axe in hand.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, Ernest takes to the treehouse to use its defenses. The Tulip brothers have arrived on scene, and all they see is money. Time to take pictures and send them to the National Enquirer. And now that
used to be a thing. Oh my gosh,
it's like the Weekly World News, man.
Oh, so beautiful.
I do have to mention this scene here where the troll handcuffs the sheriff to his car, empties the bullets from his gun, eats them, and then another troll smacks him in the back of the head with a plank, firing bullets at the sheriff.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, what if a bullet was faced the other direction?
Now,
what if?
I assure you,
a lot of things.
Going back to what you said earlier, this scene was written by Coke Sam's. It has to be.
Nice.
It has to be.
Oh man.
Well, the kids arrive and surprise, the milk works. During the commotion, Trantor heads beneath the tree and begs for evil demons to make him strong.
Yeah, this is the part I didn't like because he kept shooting his mouth off after that.
Yeah. That's good. Hackmore finally arrives.
Sandro?
Yeah, I'm still here. What's going on?
Does he just take naps in between your reenactments or between your synopses here? What's going on?
Every now and then I have to stop and check.
Yeah, I'm here.
Is there something you like to add about the person shooting their mouth off after this scene?
So we're on the Halloween party scene?
Please, Ben, continue. I have no idea where we're at now. Now I'm really lost.
Hackmore finally arrives and places her dolls alongside the others in the tree.
She shoves them in there.
Yeah, she actually does shove them in there.
Doesn't she just she's like, well, your time's come. We're going to save you.
Which is great because she takes such great care taking them off the table from underneath the sheet and putting them in the bag and then just rams them into the tree. Well, we get 6 more Ernest characters and the kids are taking out most of the trolls. Trantor is growing more powerful and hideous as he's given powers by the demons. The townspeople start celebrating victory, but their happiness is quashed by Trantor revealing his new form. Fire erupts from the ground. Ernest is thrown from the treehouse and is knocked out on impact. Trantor turns Kenny into a doll, and I remember this scene as a child. I was completely stunned because I don't think in a kid's movie I've ever seen so much hopelessness in one scene.
I didn't like this scene.
Who was that? Sandra, is that you?
Yeah.
Hey, he's back, dude.
I've been here the whole time, man.
What's going on, man? Why didn't you like this scene?
Well, if Trantor could just ask the demons to be more powerful and essentially alleviate his immunity to milk, why wouldn't he just do that already?
Didn't you see him, man? I wouldn't want all those tentacle things sticking out of my face.
I mean, he wasn't much of a looker as it was. I mean...
Didn't make it any better.
I love that I danced the line between you two because I totally agree 100% with that statement. I would have been like, make me the most powerful MFer I could be right now. Let's do it.
Yeah, like, Ben, you're saying, oh, look at what he looked like. Look what he looked like before. He wasn't winning any beauty pageants as it was.
What?
Hey, he might be a troll catch. I don't fucking know.
Did I jump the gun, or were the kids weren't they starting to fend off the trolls with the milk?
Oh, yeah, most of them are dead.
Okay, because I feel like you glossed a little over that, no? A little bit.
No, I said we get 6 more Ernest characters, and the kids are taking
Right.
out most of the trolls.
Right, but I mean, like with the milk, the way they did it, we can go back to the machine. I thought you were going to be a little more elaborate, but that's okay.
No,
I thought it was
but
cute. The
we can
different
spend more time on it.
the different ways they got them with the milk, like Ernest put it in his mouth, spit it on him, or they just poured it on him, or they kicked the little machine with the yogurt.
My favorite one was when the kid opened the milk carton and threw it through the sunroof of the car, and when it tumbled, no milk came out of it whatsoever, so nothing actually hit the troll, and he still died.
Yes, they both did. Yes, the one on top and the one in.
I have to believe that there's a reason that Ben skimmed on the scene so much.
Ooh.
Yeah, there is a reason. I'm on page fucking 18 of notes for this fucking movie. But tell me your theory.
I just wanted to say skim, as in skim milk.
Ah!
Yeah.
Bro! Just because you're awake doesn't mean we have to listen to yours.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that was actually very well done.
Do you see what I put up with now, man? I feel dumb if I miss these, but we missed them together, so I feel some solace there.
I do. I wish we could get to the whole point.
Yep. All right. Keep going. Let's
I wish I had my cricket. I wish I could use my sound effects over here because I would be using crickets right now.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Yeah.
Oh, come on. You want to talk about...
I'm awful, man. Just let it go. It's
fine.
bad.
No,
it's self-acknowledged bad.
Hey, you know what? That's fine. Let's talk about these troll deaths.
Well, I just thought it was different. They had different ways of doing it. They were kind of interesting. That kept me engaged in the different ways they did it. They didn't just pour it at them or in like one shot.
What was...
Super Soaker was one.
Mm-hmm.
No. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Sandra.
There was a drone one as well, which is the one that's
milk drop.
The dropper or something like that.
Yeah, the milk drop or something. Yeah, the super dropper.
This one threw me off the most because the kids were like, not the dropper. And then it was effective. So why were they against using this?
I didn't understand that either, but I also didn't understand that it was 2 mailboxes, like taped together. How are they leak proof?
How are they already painted with
and have milk in them? And have milk in them and ready and fully charged, you know.
They were painted with cow print. Are we to believe that they did this just now or that they somehow foresaw this occurrence?
It could be that it was already prepped as one of their food defenses from the Murdochs.
Could have been. Maybe they used it as pharmaflage.
So it was specifically meant to drop milk. Not that they used it to drop milk, but it was created for that purpose.
Yes.
That part didn't fly with me, man.
I don't know.
Guess you're the 1% that didn't work for.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're like, not the dropper. I didn't get that part either. That really threw me off.
Ben, that 1% comment?
Yep.
No.
I didn't like that.
It's getting a little
we covered a whole skim.
Too many.
No, don't even start your heavy bullshit. I've had enough of this half and half.
I also said
dairy product.
I am waving every white flag on my end. I'm surrendering wholeheartedly.
I did also mention that the portion with the drone didn't fly with me.
Yeah, I know. I ignored that one.
Yeah, I felt like you did.
Yeah,
that one deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
As do all mine, apparently.
All right,
Sorry, Ben,
I swear, guys, we're almost done here.
I know we're trying, man.
Ernest comes to in time to see the troll throw Kenny onto the ground and jump on him. Ernest grabs milk, but it no longer works on the troll. Hackmore tells the mayor that the only unconditional love can defeat the beast now. Ernest somehow clues into this, drops the milk, and treats the troll as a child. It rushes him, and he picks it up and starts dancing with it, and the crowd looks on in complete confusion. Ernest tells the troll how cute it is and kisses it on the slimy nose. The monster begins to convulse before it explodes. The townsfolk rejoice. All of the dolls revert back to human form, even the children from when Hackmore was young. Ernest is sad that there's nothing in that tree for him, but Rimshot jumps out of the truck and runs to his loving human. The two embrace and fade to black. Quick question, guys. How are these people from the 19th century going to adjust to life in the 90s? Or I guess the early 20th century going to adjust to life in the 90s?
My best guess is not well.
Not well at all.
Yeah, people are going to get like stabbed and hurt.
Imagine encountering technology like fucking computers, TVs, all this shit.
From nothing. From your fingers and toes, like not growing into it, like just having it out from zero. Yeah, that's pretty
I
choppy.
like how you go to like computers and televisions. I'm just thinking electricity and indoor plumbing.
Okay, so you don't need that shit.
Like non-wool clothes.
Ben.
Thank you.
You're not getting by me on that one, man.
Damn it.
Which one did he do?
When I said indoor plumbing, he said, you're not getting away with that shit.
Ah. That was very nice.
But that was Ernest Scared Stupid.
That was a movie.
It was a movie.
Okay, what was the deal with Eartha Kitt's kids or something? Why is she so old? Because they were from the they were siblings, right? Siblings, that's what it was.
I feel like she should have been older, if that was the case.
Yeah, like dead. Yeah.
Like, I don't it feels like it was too long ago for her to just be that old if she was on par with them at the time.
What I love about it is not in any way did they ever talk about like what year it was. They said long ago. Old lady Hathaway or Hathaway?
Hackmore.
Right? Hackmore. Sorry.
You're still
just like
thinking
Gene.
Catwoman. Hathaway.
I know. Now see, look what happens. But you know, they were very vague, and they covered their bases by being vague. So kudos to that.
Yeah, it is also a kids' movie, right? You have to let a lot of things go that we've been picking apart.
Right, like Sandro's so specific about some of these things that were going on, like why this would happen. Of course, but by being this vague on the age thing, now they have nothing for Sandro to like attack. It's actually a good thing in this case.
Oh, there's always something for him to attack.
Yeah, that's okay.
Now's not the time, guys.
All right, let's talk money.
Did it make any?
14 million.
Yeah.
I'm on IMDb.
Yep. A budget of 9.6 million. Gross 14.1 million. So no, it did not make money.
How much more does it have to make? Double? Is that what are the guidelines for this?
The safe way of looking at it is double the budget, and that's breaking even.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I figured, right? Because it has something to do with covering because it doesn't always cost like the budget doesn't cover some of the salaries, right? For the big stars and whatnot.
For the most part, budget doesn't necessarily cover advertising and marketing fees.
Got it, which is huge in a lot of cases.
Yeah, because you're talking like magazines, television, billboards, posters, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, so it would have had to have made, what, like 19.2 to break even. We were at 14.1.
Okay.
Yeah. Ratings-wise, we're sitting
that's
at a 5.
box office. What about after? What about DVD sales and all that? Does it count any kind of break-even strategy, or is it just box office?
This is just worldwide box office.
Okay, cool. I'm just curious what your guidelines are.
I'm sure that it made its money back in home video
DVDs
purchases.
For sure. Oh yeah, probably videotape, probably VHS.
Yeah, VHS DVD for sure. It is a Disney movie, right? It is put out by Touchstone Pictures. So they've been marketing the shit out of that, selling that. They include it. They tried to clear out copies of it by putting it in a 3-movie set with Ernest Goes to Camp and I think Ernest Goes to Jail or Ernest Saves Christmas, one of them. So it definitely made its money back in the long run. It's been, 30 years since this came out? It definitely had time to recoup, but
I would think so.
How quickly did it do so? Yeah.
In 19, like, do you have general numbers of like what most budgets were like in the 90s, like in the early 90s? Is a $10 million budget or 9x budget like normal, or was that like on the low end? Because it seems like lower budget.
It depends on the genre of the film. This is not exactly special effects heavy.
Right.
Most of the effects money would have gone to just the trolls, really. When you look at costuming, hair, makeup, not a lot of expense there. A lot of the costumes kids used, you can still buy today at like discount stores. So Yeah, I'm pretty sure not even a lot of the money, like 9.6 million is not a big budget. I'm sure Jim Varney got a very small piece of that. So it could have been like
he probably got a lot on the back end, right? Like he would have probably negotiated a little bit on the front, but then a lot of, what's that stuff on the back? What are they called?
Royalties?
Royalties, yeah, on the back end.
But then you also have to consider, does John Cherry own the character of Ernest? So is he not only making money off of being the director and one of the writers of the story, but also they're using his property?
Oh, yeah, he's probably getting more percentage by a large amount.
Yeah, I would think so. I kind of... Well, I think I know how you two feel about the movie based off of our conversation. But looking at the reviews on IMDb, it's sitting at a 5.8 out of 10. When you go to Rotten Tomatoes, it's a little bit worse. With the tomato meter, the critics have it at 17% and the audience score at 50.
I was pleasantly surprised. I thought I would be begrudgingly agonized watching this, and there were entertaining parts, and I admired the character that he was trying to play. So I was trying to do it through the filter of what I was watching, through the context of what I was watching, and I was I was entertained by that.
Yeah. Pretty much the same here. You have to keep in mind this is a movie made for children in the 90s when kids' humor was completely different. You can tell the Ernest character doesn't really work today. That style of humor doesn't really work today. But thinking about looking at it as a 1991 kids comedy, entertaining. I look at 5.8. I'm not really going to argue that. 17, I would definitely argue against. It's nothing amazing. Nothing amazing in comparison to the other Ernest movies, but it's not shitty. I am super curious to know about our awards, though.
Who would like to start?
Can you wake up Sandro?
I'm here. So should we go to worst performance then?
Yep.
Craig did not give any sort of explanation, but he did put that his worst performance was Richard Wolff as Matt Murdock.
I agree. Wolf? Fat Murdock. I hated that character. That dumb, lethargic. I like the younger Murdock better.
All right. I mean,
he could talk weird, and then he looked weird at the camera, and then he kind of talked more weird. I just thought it was a really bad character. I thought it was awful.
So you're in agreement with Craig, his worst performance?
Yes, sir.
I was going to go with Kenny. Austin, what's his name?
Nagler.
Nagler, yeah. I understand he's a child actor who had been given a fair amount of lines. I just cringed every time he was on screen.
And he hadn't done crap since, by the way. I don't know.
No, he hasn't.
Looked at it looks like it reminds me of the girl in Ripley Aliens, Newt.
Yeah.
She did one thing. That was it,
Yeah.
Interesting. Good point. I like that. Yeah, Kenny was cute. He had a cuteness factor for a kid. He looked a lot like Jonathan Taylor Thomas. He had the little dimple, the little haircut, but he was the B version of that.
Yeah, and I felt really bad, but when he does that weird John Wayne impression for Elizabeth, all I thought is if I was a kid his age and I was there right now, I would just punch him right in the mouth.
I don't even know if that would have worked in the 90s. John Wayne was pretty history at that point. No offense, all due respect to John Wayne.
No, it's fine.
Well,
Sandra, worst performance?
Ben, first of all, I'm with you. I try to be more generous with child actors, as you had referenced. But in this movie, the majority of them were child actors. So really, your choices were kind of limited. And I had Kenny. Austin Nagler.
Yeah.
That's how I got the last name so quickly, is because that's what I have written down for my awards.
Makes sense.
Again, I felt bad.
The sheriff wasn't great either.
Look.
He's an actual adult actor.
You can tell he was playing the campy dad.
That's
sheriff,
true.
though.
He was. Yeah, that's true. So he really played the role. That's true. Just like the parents did.
The nominees for worst performance, just play the cast list, okay? You had to take your pick.
Mm-hmm.
But I went with Kenny. There was a lot of overacting. There was a lot of scenes and deliveries that I wanted nothing to do with that kid.
Yeah.
He didn't have it, and that's why that's why he has 0 on IMDb besides this.
I mean,
He
good
doesn't-
on him for
he didn't
being in
have
an
it back.
iconic movie, but sorry, dude.
Yeah, well, you know, you have to also shine in it.
Yeah. Best performance. What's Craig saying?
So Craig put Jim Varney, of course,
Mhm.
but doesn't he give you John Cena vibes too? I think it's the facial expressions.
I saw that tweet you put out.
I put that tweet out before I looked at Craig's answers. And I just read that word for word.
I don't see it.
Well, maybe you need to look at the tweet again.
I did. I don't see it. That's
Anyway.
a picture.
His answer is Jim Varney.
Mark?
Mine would be Elizabeth, but on Star Trek: The Next Generation, the same year as Isabella, the imaginary being that they encounter on the Enterprise.
I'm so lost right now.
Okay, so may I share the backstory? So I'm watching this movie for the first time, probably in a very long time. And Elizabeth, by the way, she's not my number one. I'll explain in a second. But Elizabeth shows up, and I'm like, she looks so familiar. Do you guys watch Star Trek: The Next Generation with Patrick Stewart at all?
No.
No.
Okay. Gosh darn it. Well, anyway, the same year, 1991, she plays a character that is like a corporeal being or a corporeal form of like some alien life form. And that's what I know her from. And she's super creepy in it. So what I would recommend you watch her in that Star Trek Next Generation episode. She will creep you out. She reminds you of the Red Rom kids from like the Spielberg movie, like the twins. She's like creepy with the eyes and the hair.
You mean
like
the-
the hair being that color?
The Kubrick movie?
Yeah, the Kubrick movie. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
creepy. That kid's anyway, Elizabeth's creepy. But Varney was amazing. But I gotta give it to Eartha Kitt, Santa Baby. I gotta give it to Catwoman.
I guess that's what you were going to go with.
The only reason I think Jim Varney was excellent in this, and I think he was the best. The only reason I give Eartha Kitt anything is she got so into the character. It's like she really dives into the character, and I think she knows that character was not an Eartha Kitt classy character, but she didn't care. She went for it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
She didn't have any pretense of who she was. She just played that character very well. But
Yes.
Varney was great. Varney was excellent in this.
Jim Varney was great in this. But I'm going to have to agree with you. It's Eartha Kitt, best performance for me. And that's because at this point, Jim Varney didn't have to try to play Ernest. He was Ernest. So he is already in his wheelhouse. He's been doing it for 9 years at this point. It doesn't take any effort for him to play this role. And Eartha Kitt definitely seized this crazy character and tried to make them zany but believable and sympathetic. Look at the story of her life compared to Ernest. Like, there's so much more there, so much meat to that character than we get with Ernest. And I felt like she had fun with it. She was kind of creepy at times, scary at times, loving at times, understandable at times. I think she was great. She is the best performer in the movie.
I agree. And like, honestly, think about it. It's like, you're going to tell Eartha Kitt to exit your house, walk towards Ernest in like a welding pack and like goggles on your forehead. Like, that's your first scene. And she's like, okay, let's do it.
And
You know what I
she
mean? Like,
was
I
a
can't
badass
imagine-
the whole time.
Right. You just did not screw with her. That's what makes her like, her characters have always have this like intensity to them. And it's not like sassy. It's like, she's got this. Like, it's not even like baked. It's like, she knows she is the confidence that she has, you know?
I agree.
Kudos.
Sandro, best performance.
Not Eartha Kitt, that's for damn sure. She was
Yeah,
terrible.
that Eartha Kitt.
I had debated
What'd
putting
you
her
pick?
for worst performance.
Bobby Tulip.
Oh, I mean, if I'm being honest, the best performance was probably Rimshot, because this cast sucked.
Wow.
But I went
Jesus.
with Jim Varney as Ernest, because at least he played Ernest. I mean, you can say he's played the same character so many times that it's automatic, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a good performance at that point.
Oh, I didn't say it was a bad performance.
I agree. It was kind of him before he really got overly campy. He was just already there, but he was like revving at top RPM. Like he was at the peak at this point, it feels like.
There's a reason why this is the last debatably successful Ernest film. Yeah.
So most memorable line or favorite, Craig has, how about a little Miak?
Okay.
Rookie.
Craig, come on, man.
He went on to write, I still call milk Miak to this day because of this movie.
Ooh, a lifer.
I'll give him that. If he calls it Miak, then it's like totally on his heartstrings. Congratulations. He redeemed himself with that second part.
Okay, what did you have, Mark, for favorite?
There's only two. There are two quotes in this. One is when Elizabeth Early is, it's true because I read it in a book. And that works for anything at all times. Just like it's true because I saw it on the internet. It is like so universally like the argument that just doesn't hold any water that everyone uses to this day. Doesn't everybody say, I read it in a book. It's true. It's on Twitter. It's true. You know, CNN said it. It's true. He uses a horse dewormer for God's sakes. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
Okay. That's the first one. Second one, if I may, not even milk can stop me now.
But milk does a body good.
Yeah, but milk can't stop him.
Exactly.
I know, but not even milk can stop him now.
Ben?
Mine is the correct take off of what Craig was trying to say. And it is a back and forth between Ernest and Trantor, where Ernest says, let's see how you like a little Miak. And Trantor goes, Miak? And this is the best part, with Ernest being, yeah, Miak. I bet you thought I couldn't find any this time of the year. Well, I'm a little too resourceful for you, a little too light on my feet. So come on, eat Miak and die. Like, wow, he's just wishing death upon a character in a kid's movie. It's great.
How many lines did you have written down in your notes? You got all these quotes and speeches and stuff?
Oh, most of it's from memory.
I thought so.
It's crazy that he went from like this angered state to like, oh yeah, I'll just give him a hug and everything will be okay.
Yeah.
From eat me, act and die to just give me a hug.
Sandro.
Yes, sir.
Memorable line?
So clearly I'm somewhere where you guys are not. And I wrote down in the truck scene when he's fighting off the troll, because Trantor, I never really bothered to learn his name.
That's commitment.
Trantor makes a comment about his forefathers, and
oh yeah,
Ernest says, "I didn't have forefathers. I only had one, and I didn't know him that well."
That's chuckle worthy for sure.
Yeah, it was probably It was probably the second biggest chuckle I had, with the first being on the next award.
Okay.
How about when Trantor showed up in the treehouse and he's like, I hope you're from Keebler. I thought that was also chuckle worthy.
That was a nominee for sure.
But then I went, damn it, it's an elf. And I went scientific, and I should have gotten away from that.
Yeah, Keebler elves are scientific to you.
Well, an elf is not a troll, according to science. Do you think an elf is a troll, Sandro? Are you trying to tell me? Are you in Canada trying to tell me in America that an elf is a troll? Is that what you're trying to say right now?
It's different terminology once you cross the border.
I guess
I just want to be clear. I don't know trolls with pointy ears, but I do know elves with pointy ears, sir.
I'm still calling you out, man. If your basis is the scientific proof.
The scientific route of an elf and a troll.
Yeah, I want to see the scientific proof where we've tested trolls and elves in real life to determine that they're not the same.
Okay, because I've never seen an elf under a bridge, sir.
Scientifically speaking?
Factually speaking, I've never seen one recorded, but I've always seen trolls under bridges. Always.
All right, man.
Book it, man.
All right. So Craig's most memorable moment or scene was the treehouse scene when the kids go into attack mode versus the Murdoch brothers. The gadgets used were a kid's dream. Afterwards, I wanted a treehouse just like that.
Why?
I'm just reading his answer word for word. I don't have
Craig.
more information than what is actually there.
Craig, if you're listening to this, email us, tweet us, let us know why. Why would you want these inventions? Single purpose. How many enemies do you have, Craig? That you need to defend yourself, and that's all you want is a treehouse with throws pizzas and shoots yogurt.
What kind of enemies do you have if they would be deterred by pizza?
Yeah, but why? I mean, why would you waste such food? I think is the bigger question.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that brings us to you, Mark. Your favorite or most memorable moment or scene?
Well, the truth is that Ben like shot the load early because it's the baby head and the gears. That is the best scene. Because like the one other thing from an Ernest movie I remember is when he had the turtle.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm scared, sir." Everybody's scared, son. I just remember that. And it's just, "No, don't put my head in the gears. I got a baby family factory." "I'm sorry, I'll write him a letter. You know, you're going to save my life." I just thought that was I just love that breakout. It was cute.
That's where you know he's psychotic.
Yeah. Totally. That would never fly in today's world also. A baby head. No. Like a baby doll head in a gear? No, probably not.
Ben?
How about you, Ben? Yeah.
Well, honestly, my favorite scene is the Miak scene. But for me, the most memorable scene still sticks with me from when I saw this in theaters, and that is the troll not under the bed. When she looks under the bed and finds her teddy bear and climbs back up, and the troll's right there. I think that's the first time I ever got spooked by a jump scare, and that one stuck with me. It's also the creepy fucking look on his face made me feel very uncomfortable.
He's an ugly MFer.
Mm-hmm.
I totally get it. If you're 8 years old in a movie theater, 7, 8 years old, and you're watching this, yeah, this I could see this be a freak out.
Sandro, buddy.
Yeah.
Favorite memorable scene?
I wanted to punch you guys earlier because you essentially called me out on it, but I had written down he doesn't know when to quit. And it was for the exact reason you guys said.
And they did it twice. That's what's great about that. That they shot to it that they cut back to it.
It's probably my favorite part of the movie, and probably the part where I laugh the most when she smokes that kid.
Not even look and just swing.
Yeah.
And I totally understand why that part stands out for you, because it does not fit in this movie. It is a completely different style of humor and comedy that we all agree is hilarious, but does not belong in an Ernest film.
No,
Ernest was never hit or abused by anyone else. He always did stuff to himself. He always shot himself in the foot. And having her do that to him is the first time anyone ever really got anything off on him.
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't know when to quit.
I mean, he did start to scratch the chalkboard with his nails.
Yeah.
That's
pretty fucking funny.
That was pretty good. That was the best scene. Good call.
All right. So I think all of our feelings are kind of clear, but it's tradition. Final recommendation, Mark.
Come to Arizona. It can be recreational or medical. And we can watch it again.
That stuff's not illegal here. So
it's not illegal there? I thought it was.
Man. No.
Oh, man. Because isn't hemp illegal there still?
No. I've never watched this movie stoned. I think I might enjoy it more if I did. Having said that, I have no problem with this movie. If I didn't have to make notes while I was watching it, I think I would have enjoyed it a bit more. It's still a lot of fun. But it's definitely not for everybody. I think it could be a fun movie for kids even still today, but Ernest is an acquired taste, guys. He is definitely dated, and if you're not down for that nostalgic late 80s, early 90s style of comedy, I can't recommend this to you. If you are, by all means, go for it. You'll have a fun time, but I couldn't just recommend this to anybody without knowing what they liked in film, so no, I don't recommend it. I still love it, but No.
Good point, because I think it's culturally challenging in some ways. Like him dressing as a woman, even in the character, culturally appropriating Julius Caesar and then the Ottomans. I mean, like you think about like all the little PC traps that he gets himself into in this.
Well, also weird comments about
children and being like, it's just a weird kind of general thing that doesn't happen nowadays.
Hackmore and voodoo, which
oh yeah, good point.
There is no reference to anywhere else in the movie. It's just they kind of throw that on the character, and you're like, well, it's Missouri.
I was thinking they're doing the voodoo part for the troll thing and the spells and stuff, but it didn't seem to be congruent with the rest of the film either.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun. I think if the movie came out today, it would tank even worse and nobody would care about it. So yeah, I think the only way I would ever think that it would be something I could recommend is just based off of nostalgia alone. So yeah, pass. I
feel like an adult Ernest that like on HBO for one movie that had like free reign to just be an adult would be fun. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see the character working as itself.
I think at its best, this movie is just okay. There are a few scenes that I got a good chuckle, but most of the stuff in between I found to be a bit of a slog. I was actually bored part of the time. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend anybody go out to see it, but if they're curious and it starts like playing on television at one point and you got nothing else to do, give it a shot. If it's your cup of tea, you might like it. If not, just turn it off after like 15 minutes and you're no worse for it.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very good point. Also, like we started off this podcast, remind yourselves that this is an evolving character that started in the early 80s, and we're at 1991 here. Like, the journey the character has had is absolutely amazing. And yeah, this might have been the finale of its popularity. But if this is it, I think it kind of went out on a high note. But it probably should have died a bit earlier.
The problem is it didn't actually die. It continued. And it's kind of like that legacy. What kind of legacy do you want to leave, right? It's kind of like an athlete that's playing. You know, Joe Montana is not known for playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. Jerry Rice isn't known for playing like one game with the Raiders or the Seahawks. Like it's just one of those things, right? Or, you know, whatever other analogy.
Michael Jordan finished his career with the Wizards.
Well, that's what I meant. It's like Jim Varney. No, that's what that was my analogy. Is Jim Varney's character, as he continued, it wasn't that good, right? Didn't it get crappier and crappier?
Eventually, yeah, until he ended up as Slinky Dog.
And doesn't it like water down? Doesn't that water down a lot of the previous accomplishments that he had in a lot of people's eyes? Because like, oh, Slinky he was Dog? In that other movie. No. I'm saying like the other crappy movies that he did as Ernest.
Oh, no, nobody knows about those movies.
Okay, well, if no one knows about them, that's one thing.
They were direct to VHS.
Okay, well, then you're good. Yeah. Then you're good. But I mean, like, if people had actually continued watching this, they'd be like, God, this thing's turning downhill.
I haven't seen all of them. I quit on them, honestly, after like 2 more of these movies. I just stopped.
Oh, okay. Because the analogy for me is like Friends, like that TV show. After like 4 seasons of decent, you know, chuckles here and there, it just became a kind of such an ugly thing. It dragged down the rest of it for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Does that make sense? Maybe I'm not explaining myself properly.
No, I get what you're saying. I just wish that he could have had like a bit more of a rise with the Toy Story series. But unfortunately, cancer happens.
That's a good point.
Well, that was our review of Ernest Scares Stupid. If you guys want to share your thoughts on it, you can hit us up on social media. We are on Twitter at BS Bargain Bin. We're also on Facebook, but who really uses Facebook anymore these days? Mark, thank you so much for joining us again. Can you please just let our listeners know where they can find you?
Knocked Conscious and Beer Google's podcast, www.knockedconscious.com. beergoogles.com or at NockedCon, I think, on Twitter. But first of all, thank you for having me waste 3 hours of your life. That you'll never get back.
On, buddy.
You're welcome.
Now, for anybody listening...
Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you.
You're very welcome. For anybody listening, we generally will get the guest to do the next pick. But next week's episode is actually our 1-year anniversary. It's our 50th episode. So we're going to go with whatever Ben has been cooking up for the last week. Ben, what are we celebrating with next week?
Next week is a very special selection for me. In junior high, I had watched so many movies that I just didn't really like them anymore. I found a lot of them boring. But then I had a bunch of the boys over one night, and one of my friends brought over 2 movies that really reinvigorated my love of film. The first was George Romero's Dawn of the Dead, which I had never seen. And again, the next I had not seen, but I was immediately hooked. And that movie that we're covering is 1992's Army of Darkness.
In an age of darkness.
May God have mercy upon your souls. Something's wrong. Something's amiss.
At a time of evil.
You shall die!
When the world needed a hero.
The swallow our souls. I don't want to die!
What it got was him.
Groovy. You know your shoelace is untied.
He's a 20th century guy.
For that arrogance, I shall see you dead.
Trapped in the Middle Ages.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. This is my boomstick. Now, let's talk about how I get back home.
Foretold by a mystical book.
Within its pages are passages that can send you back to your time.
Forewarned by a wise man.
You must recite the words Klaatu, Berata, Niktu.
I got it.
Fulfilled by a wise guy.
Klaatu, Berata.
When thou misspoke the words, the army of the dead awoke.
Now he's got a date.
Give me some sugar, baby.
With the Army of Darkness.
You found me beautiful once.
Honey, you got real ugly.
Sound the trumpets. Raise the drawbridge. Drop the Oldsmobile. From Sam Raimi.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Director of Darkman. Comes Army of Darkness. They live. They breathe. They suck. Army of Darkness.
All right. Well, join us again next week. Until then, have a great one, guys.
All the best, guys.